Are you thinking about starting a business in 2022, maybe a service-based support provider, maybe as an online business manager? If this is you, then this is definitely gonna be a great video for you to watch and stay till the end, because I've got something really juicy that I'm gonna share with you if you are just getting started. And I also wanna make this clear here, this is gonna be definitely for you if you are getting started and you feel like you have no experience as an online business manager, then I definitely want you sticking around. Hey guys, I'm Sarah Noked, founder of OBM School, and I have made it my mission in 2022 to help as many women as I possibly can start and scale successful, profitable, enjoyable businesses as service-based support providers, but namely as online business managers. And that's why this YouTube channel is really dedicated to sharing my strategies and tips and tricks around working with the right clients, around confidently charging the right rates, and really about offering the services that are going to really empower you to live your life by design as an entrepreneur. Now, I made so many mistakes when I was first starting off as an online business manager. I didn't even charge my first client. I stayed in this virtual assistant role, AKA OBM in disguise, for about 2 years. And I really stunted my growth as an online business manager because of my own mindset, because of my goals, because I didn't really have a lot of role models that were successful online business managers. And today you found this YouTube video. I want to share with you some of the things that I wish that I would have known back when I started my business, but I'm also going to frame it in mind of, it's 2022 now. What do you need to really focus on as an online business manager in 2022? And if you are finding these tips helpful and useful, let me know in the comments which tip best resonated with you, or which one you found was like a real, oh my God, I never even thought of that. Let me know in the comments. That helps us really curate better content and things that we can share with you and help you to really improve and start and scale. So one of the things that I found was the most harmful to me as an online business manager when I first started was totally discounting all of the skills that I had achieved in my life of corporate, of things that I did when I was in university, jobs that I had when I was in high school even, and looking at all of those skills that I needed to bring to the table as an online business manager. So I know a lot of the times, and that's why in this video we're coming at you how to get started as an OBM without any experience, because the reality is that a lot of the times in life, we gain these managerial / leadership type qualities. You might have never managed a team before, but you might have managed, things around your house, your family, your schedule, your health. There are things in your life that you manage day to day. And as an online business manager, when you are working with clients, a lot of the times you are stepping in lieu of your client not managing those parts and pieces. Management and leadership are muscles that you need to flex and develop, but recognizing that you have a little bit of that and a passion for that is gonna get you a little bit further than discounting all of that and saying, well, I need to start in the assistant seat, or I need to start as just some generalist freelancer over here. When you get started as an online business manager, I want you to start thinking about what are your transferable skills? What are the skills that you have achieved? It might be things like managing a budget, managing team, different projects that you've handled, different goals that you've accomplished. Sit down, spend a half an hour or an hour, as long as it takes, and literally just write out a list for yourself. It might just even be like a big stream of consciousness type paper like you see on my desk. You guys can only see my desk right now. I do these streams of consciousness thing all the time. I'm constantly finding big pieces of paper or my whiteboard and just writing things out. Start making a list of what your transferable skills are so that in your mind, you can start to process this beginner's mindset. You don't need to start at some arbitrary square one. A lot of people deem it the virtual assistant or something else. That's not square one as an online business manager. And this is what we really advocate for inside the OBM school. As an online business manager, your first step is getting clear on who your ideal client is and what that looks like, what the size of that client is, who they are. And that's going to be helpful for you, especially if you're just getting started, because it's going to be about working with somebody who you can grow together with that person. You can come into their business at a point where maybe they're just getting over this breaking point of needing to hire on team, and then they can bring you on to do the management, a little bit of the implementation as you build and grow, and eventually delegate out those sorts of things to different team members. But it's about finding that perfect first stepping stone client and not necessarily starting at square one as an assistant or something of that nature. Now, I wish I would have known that when I was getting started, because even though I had a master's of business administration, I had previously sold a landscaping company, I already had some entrepreneurial experience, and I had a short stint in corporate. I worked for 2 years in corporate before I wanted to literally stab my eyes out with pens. No, I'm just joking. That's a terrible visual. No, I didn't have it that bad, but I did really want to leave because I knew that I just needed flexibility and freedom. And to be honest, I always knew about myself that I wanted to be an entrepreneur. I know these days people are sort of not forced to be an entrepreneur, but I think that the whole glow and appeal of being in corporate or working for the same corporation for 100 years is just not as appealing as it was before. And people are starting to recognize that, wow, flexibility and freedom and life is short. I better really look at and take this entrepreneurial thing seriously. And I think also as entrepreneurs and as we just get better at this, more people are seeing, oh, well, you can actually make money as an OBM the same, if not more, than I'm making in corporate. So of course I want the freedom and flexibility. And yes, I'm willing to put in the hard work up front so that I can have a business that grows with me. So I wish that I would have had that information to know that, wait a second, I've managed teams before, I've managed projects before, I've had my own business, so I understand, the pains and the empathy and this sort of those important soft skills like leadership and having that emotional intelligence that I can really bring to the table with my clients. But no, I didn't do that. And I don't use this example to make you guys feel like you need to have sold a business or have to been an entrepreneur or to had a rich corporate job or have an MBA. No, I say this because even though I had all those things, I still felt like I needed to start at square one. And I know that a lot of us do start at this arbitrary square one that isn't even necessarily a square of the OBM puzzle. It's a square of some other puzzle. It's just some place where we take ourselves all these steps down, and as a result, you end up working with the wrong clients. You end up having referrals of clients that don't really fit your mold. I want you to take some time here and really sit down and think about which one of your skills really transfer over into being a successful online business manager and not anything else. The next thing that I think is really important to bring to light, especially as we scale and step into entrepreneurship, is this notion of investing in ourselves. I think a lot of the times, I know myself personally as a mom, sometimes it's difficult for me to, buy myself clothes when I know I can buy my kids clothes. We're always putting other people in front of us. One of the things that I think is going to be really helpful for you, or a concept to embrace as you continue to grow, is this prioritizing your business and investing in your business. So it might look like investing your time learning something new for free. It might look like investing a certain amount of finances into a course or a coach, right? It might look like investing time in community and building relationships. It might look like investing in a computer or investing in something else that you need for your office space. Make a list of the things that you could potentially invest in your business, and have that list and let it almost soak in, and give yourself permission to invest in these things. Maybe you don't have a huge budget right now, but maybe you've got some time, or maybe you don't have any time and you need to recalibrate and figure out how you can bake some time into your calendar. It might be about, using your vacation days at your corporate job to spend on developing this business. So maybe you take Fridays off for the rest of your days in corporate to build your OBM business. You have to get creative. When you don't have money to throw at a problem or time to do something, you oftentimes have to get creative. I know this happens a lot with our OBM clients and their marketing budgets. There's not a big budget for marketing, so we need to have a creative strategy. And I want you to think about this and hold it very close to you when you think about investing in your business, and recognizing that yeah, you will invest in your business and it's gonna feel weird at first, but then it will feel totally normal. Like I remember, investing in the programs that I started investing in when I first started my online journey it was painful almost to invest in those things. And, in the last few years, I've spent tens of thousands of dollars investing in coaches and consultants and things that have been so valuable in my business. And I wouldn't have really had that mindset of investing. So I want you to start to get that investment mindset from the get-go. Now, the third big thing is community. Now, I know I mentioned our Confident OBM community. We are 10,000 strong. This is a free community. This is our free community level where you can come in there and stand alongside other women and men in the industry who are doing what you're doing and surrounding yourself by people who are going to, be supportive. And we have a lovely, amazing community, if I do say so myself. And I'll make sure to link that in the description below so that you can join that community if that's something that you want to do. But I also want you to really lean on our community, right? Lean on the community for support. When you invest in these communities, your time, your energy, your efforts, and you find these communities, it's really, really important for you to seek advice from people who have been doing what you're doing or who are aspiring to be like you are, and so that you can really hold each other accountable, collaborate, and bring to the table things that are relevant for you. I found when I was starting my online business, manager business, that I asked everybody and everything for their advice or opinion. And then I was like, why am I so irritated by the answers they're giving me? Oh, because they have no idea about this world and this space. It's really, really important to be choosy and to discriminate who you ask advice from. If this person has no idea what the online space is like, or if it's somebody from your family who genuinely has your best interest at heart, they're always going to be fearful for you that you're stepping out. You're stepping out of the mold. You're stepping out of that corporate mold. You're trying something new. Of course, your family and your friends are going to, not discourage you, but they're going to bring up all of the maybe terrible, horrific, bad things like failure that might happen when you start this business. So I want you to find that supportive community, and coupled with that, also really screen out and be very aware of who you're asking for advice and consultation from, right? You want to make sure that the people that you're talking to have been where you've been, which brings me to my next point, which is find OBMs. If it's an OBM that you want to be, find good role models. Find people that you can aspire to be like. Look at how they're running their social media. Look at how they're presenting themselves. Look at the kind of clients that they're working with, and model that, right? Model that, and don't copy what they're doing, but use it as inspiration. I think we're carefully sort of walking around each other and we don't want to step on each other's toes. And absolutely, I don't want you going and copying somebody's website. It's not going to be authentic, and it's not going to make you successful when you're not being authentic to yourself. But there is no harm in being inspired by women and men who are doing these wonderful, amazing things in the online space. I think it's really important to have role models that you can aspire to be like. Now, my next point is a little bit more towards the level of traditional business building. We all always have this notion in mind of, creating a business plan. And I really, really do think that there's a lot of value in creating goals for yourself, as lofty as that might be. And I'm not saying that you need to set those 5-year goals. I'm just saying this year, what are some goals that you want to achieve? It might be things like landing your first client by the end of the year. It might be things like networking with at least 10 online business managers this year. It might be about attending that conference. It might be about buying yourself a computer or investing in something that's going to get you to the next level of being an OBM. Whatever that looks like for you, write it on a list and actually put it up somewhere where you can see it. That's going to make a huge difference for you when you are measuring up your success, because I find that myself, a lot of the OBMs I work with, we've reached a certain amount of success, but because you haven't tracked it, you're not aware that it happened. So You know, you might have had a goal in your mind to land that first client, and great, you landed that first client, you were really happy for yourself, and then you get to the end of the year and you're like, oh, well, I don't really feel like I did much. If you have a list of goals you can look back on, you'll really start to feel and see how you're evolving, and it will really do wonders to encourage you and continue to encourage you in the online space and in your own business and entrepreneurial endeavors. Now, when it comes to the more nuts and bolts of being an online business manager, I think that it's really important to recognize that today it is a little bit more competitive. I mean, I still talk to people who are like, you know, I'm thinking about becoming an OBM. A lot of entrepreneurs I talk to don't necessarily know what an OBM is. And while I do understand that, and it's a very valid point, the world has evolved and there are a lot of businesses that need and work with OBMs. There's also a lot of OBMs on the market. It is a little bit more competitive than it was when I started 10 years ago. In that vein, I want to really emphasize here that as an online business manager, you have to come at it with a certain caliber of business. So if I'm wanting to be an online business manager and I'm wanting to work with some great clients that love working with me, I love working with them, I need to make sure that I have my business in sorts, right? Like I've got my business down pat, things are organized. I've got things like a website. I've got things like intake forms for clients. Maybe I'm using a platform like Dubsado, and we'll also link here below obmschool.com/tools. I've got my whole tech stack there. But the thing that I want to really reign true and speak volumes to is this idea of, yes, it's investing in your business, but you also need to have these things in place. You can't just get by these days with like a Facebook page. Yes, I know that OBMs have made it before with just a LinkedIn profile and so on and so forth, but I want my students, I want my community to have the best caliber clients. I want you guys to be working outside of your comfort zone and pushing yourself to the next limit. And in order to attract their right client, you know, the right client is looking to see, hey, OBM, do you have it together? If you don't have it together, then I'm not sure that I want to hire you to manage my business. And I think that's the important thing that sometimes gets lost amongst all of the other stuff going on, is this sort of prioritizing your own business, right? So again, it really comes back to this whole investing. You're investing your time. Maybe you are hiring somebody to build a website. Maybe you're joining OBM school because you know we've got this great website template for you in there and this great SOP vault, you know, and we're helping you so that you're not reinventing the wheel and so that you have a lot of these things that you need to really hit the ground running in 2022. But it is very, very important to walk the walk as an online business manager to attract that right client. Whereas, you know, we can look at, you know, the VA space or the freelancer space, and, you know, maybe having a profile on Upwork is enough. But as an OBM, clients want to make sure that you have what it takes. So I want you to really remember that when it comes to prioritizing your own business and really prioritizing. So my words of advice for 2022 are, think about the ways in which you can invest in your own business and your own growth, time, financial, all the things in between, and really, really get some clarity around what it is that you want, set some clear goals for yourself, get the wheels moving on a few things that you can look back and be like, wow, I achieved all of these things. And actually in next week's video, I'm gonna be sharing with you guys some of the goals that I've achieved in the last year, and again, why it's so important to be able to look back at all we've come across and where we're going, because it's just amazing to see the leaps and bounds. You know, a lot of us in the online space will say that online years are like dog years. So, you know, 1 year in the online space is equivalent to like 5 years anywhere else. Like things move so quickly. So you really do have to keep your finger on that so that you can really reward yourself, you know, when it comes to the things that you've achieved, and really be proud of where you've come from. I'm so proud of my business, and you know, my friends and family tell me all the time, you know, I'm so proud of you. You should be so proud of yourself. All these things that you've accomplished and the impact that you've been able to make. And I truly am so proud of myself, but I only am because I can set these goals for myself. And like I mentioned at the beginning, my goal is to help as many women as I can start and scale profitable businesses in 2022. That is why I am really, really focusing my YouTube channel on bringing you guys a lot of value and strategy around what it takes to have a successful OBM business. And as promised, I do want to let you know that we have this really great starter kit over at obmschool.com/starter, where you can download the starter kit to really hit the ground running. And if you enjoyed this video, hit subscribe. Let me know in the comments which tip best applied to you, and I hope to see you next week.